number 53 on your document, and the salaries are on the board.
Judge Howard, please proceed, sir.
All right, salaries will be on the board.
Most of, as you know, a lot of our budget has been through the past several years has been the rent on the juvenile building, which also houses the adult probation house, general sessions, divisions 1 and 3. With the move to the courthouse, that money obviously is going to vacate and leave us, which is fine. But we saw it also as an opportunity in looking at some increase of some of the salaries that we have for Magistrate Begley, for example. Mr. Hickey, we're asking to be a change of his designation to Legal Services Director. Alan is a lawyer as well. Ms. Tennant, who is our court director, and we've got a couple more, our intake supervisor, and then Ms. Stubbs, who is a lawyer as well, who has come over to the court as our assistant legal service director. Both Alan and Ms. Stubbs both manage various aspects of the things within the court, and then obviously Magistrate Begley is a judicial position, and we're asking to raise her salary to something commensurate with some of the other magistrates around this area. As detailed in our 5-year plan that we had submitted previously, it had been on my radar to appoint a part-time magistrate to help take some of the overflow cases so that Magistrate Begley and I are able to more concentrate on the trials that we typically do. I tried somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 cases last month. Magistrate Begley much the same as well, and these are things that go sometimes all day, sometimes multi-day, and it's an opportunity to allow a part-time magistrate to handle some of this day-to-day work for delinquent cases, truancy cases, child support cases, so that we can focus more on the, and I do almost exclusively severe child abuse cases and terminations of parental rights. But this would allow these individuals to have an increase in their salaries commensurate with an increase in responsibilities, and it still falls below, I believe, the overall expenditures from last year, including the rent, and it would only increase our spending somewhere in the neighborhood of about 2%. Any questions for Judge Howard? Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank y'all very much. We saw we're pretty much in line, so certainly appreciate your time. It'd be mighty cool if you did this one.
Are you looking forward to the new accommodation?
Yes, I am. I've been on Howard Island now for 4 years. I have told stories of it being a former grocery store. I've told stories of it being a former pill mill raised by the FBI in the middle of the night. And now it is as in true Fuel Court fashion. So yes, we're very much looking forward to going to the new courthouse. And I tend to go up there a lot and just wander around and sit in silence. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty, circuit court clerk.
Not here, we're ahead of schedule.
We're way ahead. Oh, yeah. I'll take Catherine's budget if you want. Okay, so we have First Master, no, we have Ag Extension.
Nobody's here yet because
We got nobody here. Do we want to?
look at finance.
Well, let's look at finance.
Click finance and we'll start going down there.
Is that only for today or is that tomorrow?
Can I just drop back for a moment because I was asking Beth questions. I was just stuck on the call center people.
Where's your flow chart?
Like, I didn't understand why,
I guess the,
Beth was explaining to me that they have 7 steps that they train up to. And I just want to make sure that we captured that in.
we do, that's what those extra little amounts go to.
It's all in there.
Yes. Yeah.
I would just confused on the director. They said there was no percentage increase and it's 18%. So like
when they advertise up to $25,000 for one that they've nationally advertised. So they're asking to put the salary they advertised up to the maximum of that.
So they advertise more than their budget
budget,
was?
yeah.
Anybody, we want to go ahead and do finance?
Well,
We
We do,
do circuit first, though,
Yeah.
Ms. Strong?
she's on page 48, and the salaries are on the board.
It's going well.
Well, we hadn't started slashing yet, that's the one.
All right.
Just let nobody feel.
That's your machete.
We'll run you in today, make you feel at ease.
All right, go ahead.
Here's my budget. Not much has changed other than salaries. Asked for an increase on top of, at the time we did it, we didn't know what the cost of living would be. If anything, so I've lost 3 people since January.
48.
And the smallest amount anybody has asked for that I've interviewed in the last couple of weeks is $21.50 an hour. And that's from a 22-year-old. If that's what they're making right now, working for a marketing place. So, I don't know, I'm interviewing for multiple positions right now.
Yeah, but.
The biggest thing is I've asked for an additional employee because when the new judge begins in September, I have to, by statute, I have to provide a courtroom clerk, for every courtroom. And there's no way I can take somebody out of the office right now and put them in the courtroom all day. That's what I have. On the overall budget, I've reduced some areas where I thought that I could. Some of that I think will reduce more once we get in the new building. Like, I really think my printing, I'm hoping, I'm always afraid to reduce my jury expenses because you just don't know. But that has consistently been lower and lower, and so I'm hopeful the next year or two that number will actually be able to be reduced quite a bit. My maintenance agreement, I reduced some. I think I'll be able to reduce that more because I won't be able to reduce the number of copy machines, postage machines. But some of that, I just need to get to a new year in the new building and see if other expenses pop up that I wasn't expecting. But I did reduce some of that I knew I could comfortably at this point.
Well, almost all yours comes from, almost all yours just comes from, it looks like, some increase in personnel, adding that, and then the life insurance.
Yeah, I didn't ask for any. Within the main portion of my budget, I didn't. I think there was one line item I increased a little bit, but that was more than made up with what I reduced.
Where'd you say the new position was under, that you were under the,
It's at the very, very bottom of the salary.
What's the new $10,000 for legal services?
Oh, now that, I did request a legal budget, and I do recognize that our, contract, or our,
Private act.
like, oh, that's the third time in 3 days, the third, this is not coming over my brain. For certain things requires that, or prevents us from being able to get outside counsel unless there's a conflict. But despite our private act also stating that the county attorneys are to advise department heads, our county attorneys have made it very clear that they represent the county commission. And so, there seems to be a lot of conflict, when that arises. And so, it also took me 4 months to get personnel policies approved that are very, very basic and very simple. And that statute actually does allow me to hire outside counsel for that. And I was about to do that when Mr. Sittler stepped in and was able to get that done for me. But, if I have other issues that should take 2 weeks and it's going to take 4 months to go back and forth on something very simple with our legal department, I'm going to need some funding for the council. And if there continues to be lots of conflict with essentially unable to advise us because they represent the commission.
I have a question on a different note. I'm looking at your org chart here.
Yeah.
You've got 34 total positions and 17 of them are active. How do you do that? You've got names in about 17 of them. And all these are blank
advised my staff, like, I'm pretty sure I know who I'm promoting to cost collection supervisor, but I have not informed my staff of that. I have not informed my staff of all of this, so I was not about to make this public record before I'm able to tell my staff which, if I'm moving departments, the ones that I know for sure are not moving, but all of those positions are filled.
Okay, so you actually had 34,
I did.
including yourself.
Is that how many's on there?
Right.
Yes, and like this right here, I've actually just hired, they're starting in 2 weeks.
Okay, all right,
Or next week, maybe?
all right, thanks. I was concerned that we had to double your employee base.
No. I didn't, you understand?
Yeah, I do.
I didn't want to put that out there and my employees find out something that,
I got it.
plus when we move, right now, we're split up by general sessions, circuit, and juvenile.
Mhm.
When we move, we're gonna be split up by criminal, civil, and juvenile, and cost collection. So there's gonna be quite a bit of shifting in the next couple of weeks, and we're still hammering out some of that.
Okay, great.
But I'm happy to, 1st of June, when we get moved, I'm happy to send something to y'all that finalizes that.
That'll be great, thank you.
So I'm just confused between the move and the move. Like, so the physical move, but you're also promoting some people when you move?
So I have so
So there's two, but there's the physical move and then there's a move in the promotion.
correct. And like, so, I have some cost collection people right now, but in the new building, we have a specific area for receiving those payments. And so they will actually physically be moving into that area, and we're still making those decisions on who all that's gonna be in the cost collection department.
So right now, everyone's called a deputy clerk, but these are all really maybe somewhat different.
Well, they're just in different departments. They're all deputy clerks, except my
They're all
supervisor,
collection?
except the supervisor.
Okay, so all these people are collection?
No, well, no.
No.
I mean, most of them,
Is there a way that we could get?
most of them
more
take
authority?
money, most of them take money right now.
Okay. If there's a differential between their positions, could we get a chart that shows, because
There's not, other than supervisors.
so they all do the same thing?
Yes.
Hey,
I mean, 4 different departments. I mean, the work itself is not identical.
Are they like this? Does this clerk report to that clerk? Is it like that, or are they all like across?
No, they all, underneath each supervisor, they all report to the supervisor.
So this person don't report to that
They're
person?
all equal. I didn't have the space to do it all out.
Okay. So like listening to this page here, these people were 9.
Yeah.
They were all like level. They're not reporting to each other like this show.
Correct.
All right.
And the same over there for criminal.
They're
All underneath report to the supervisors. And all the supervisors report to the chief deputy, and the chief deputy reports.
And then, when we look at things, Mr. Vaughn, are they separated when we look at the salaries? Is this a different salary line from supervisors, from directors? No.
They were all under the one.
The code is different.
You can figure it out
Like
on salary lines.
Yeah, those things. Clerical classification thing,
From the studies they did or whatever.
we put them on, you just try to match them up.
Okay, so I was gonna ask that, Mr. Warren, did you have any others?
No, I'm still not clear, but I'm not getting any clearer, so go ahead.
Well, I want to make it clear.
Well, we have it on the state chart of accounts, the chart of accounts has like elected officials, and you maybe got to put a chief deputy, but the rest of it's gonna pretty much have to go into that one item.
Yeah,
You don't have all those different things.
Mine is on a separate line item, but everything else on here, with the exception of part-time, is under clerical personnel. Or personnel, how's it listed, clerical personnel?
Okay,
Deputy
Clerical personnel.
so I've got clerical
We might put it
personnel.
on the chief deputy, there might be enough time. There's not enough lines because the state only provides some.
Yeah,
So,
all under this
So
one.
these are all paid for on the line of clerical personnel, this line here,
Except part-time, part-time's under a separate line.
part-time.
because it don't provide.
And then this part-time substitute.
No, I do have
Yeah,
another
part-time.
part-time, yeah.
It's like a bingo chart. Okay, you got 4 part-time.
I was trying to make it more clear, I guess I did not.
and almost across the board, it's not exactly right, but it looks like probably another 5 to 6% on top of that. Where does that put us to the market?
Now, we've got to remember, we're not comparing apples to apples, but
I know.
from that survey, from all the large counties, they say a clerk 1 and a clerk 2, which she don't necessarily do it that way, starts anywhere between 41 and 48 as of 2023. So if we took 48 times 1.035 with about 51 and the others, so it looks like her range there after is pretty close.
So her lowest one, which is the closest one to a clerk 1, is 39,250.
So so some hers are below
Then
some of her average.
you've got others who, before you get into, it looks like there's a jump between 47 up to like 53.
But I think
Supervisors.
but her chief deputy,
Supervisors.
and they don't have supervisors, but they do have a chief deputy.
No, after hers. It looks like, honestly, after she adds hers in, it's pretty close to market.
Right, which you got to
For
point
the,
to the chief.
for the deputy 1 or deputy 2. Now, we do longevity. So those that have been there longer, I don't know if other counties do that or not, but that also gives a bump for, most other counties, when they get to deputy 3, a lot of times it's like a step where you've been there X amount. And so to factor in the longevity, with that, but, mine would be within the range of the deputy 1.
Hers meets the deputy 1 and 2, and then if you see the one for 89, her chief deputy, the average median was 85,977 back in 2023. So 89 now compared to 85 with cost of living should be pretty close. And then the 72, and those I can't speak whether she has more managers or less. But honestly, if you take the 1 chief deputy out, the rest of them averaging, it looks like it's going to average pretty close to the market. Yeah. Once you pull out the chief deputy, which the chief deputy is pretty close to market too.
Any other questions for Ms. Strong?
And like my supervisor, it is based on how many people they manage. Like I've got 3 supervisors or 2 supervisors that manage the most employees, and they make substantially more than another supervisor who only supervises 3 employees. And I do take them on that.
And I can say this survey don't show that kind of detail because it's not the
individual
we pay for.
I'm just trying to what we're trying to do is make sure that we're not way off. I know it's, they're not going to get down to the dollar.
Yeah.
But like this looks like your lower folks are on the lower end, your higher folks at that level are on the higher end. Then there's a step up. I don't know. It looks close to me. It looks close. Without micromanaging, it looks close. Thank you for the work. Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Strong.
I can do that if you want something more. Visual chart. I know, but it's because, when I was looking at the salary. Yeah.
Clerk and master.
Legal fees.
All right. Thank you.
Legal fees. $10,000.
Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, I've already marked it. Just like, where's the parking? We're still waiting for ag extension is on page number 77.
Clerk and master.
I'm sorry, clerk and master, I missed it. He's on page 52. And the other stuff's on the board.
And I'm the only appointed department head. We are a constitutional office. The only required clerks in the state are the Supreme Court clerk and the clerk and masters. We're appointed to a 6-year term. And except for malfeasance or not doing your job, and you're there for 6 years. So my term goes to 2028, and we have basically 9. I've asked for 2 people to get increases. So you see, second clerk, it looks like you and I. That is Ms. Davis. She's I've asked for her and the chief deputy to get a bump up to 2,500 because it was well below. I've got 2 Kims here. If we had a nuclear attack from the Chinese, and both Kims survived, and I did too, we can make our office run because they are so good. And that's why I'm asking that they get a bump in particular. My background was I was a special agent in the FBI when I came out of law school, then went and practiced law for 34 years, so I kind of look at this more as a real life world as opposed to government world. But you can see mine, I didn't go with the 6% like I heard some people have gone by, but I have raised some up. Now, one of the things that I'm doing right now that I'm hoping we'll be able to continue to do, we have 8 full-time people and 2 part-time people. We had 1 full-time who her husband didn't want her to work so much, so I've got her working 2 days a week, and I've got another young lady who used to work for us. She agreed to come back and work 2 days a week. So basically, I'm doing that full-time person with 2 part-time people, which is saving the county about $22,500, $17,000 for insurance, $4,800 for retirement, $500 for dental. So, and they both promised me that they'll stay there. I'm going to need to give them a full-time person. So that's going to more than offset what I'm asking for increases. As Mr. Klein can tell you, we've been busy moving. We've got 110 filing cabinets, and we've already moved to the new courthouse and put on the 4th floor. Thankfully, we've got that. We need a lot of maintenance. The mayor has become very gracious in getting some maintenance folks here and some trustees to help us. And we've been actively moving for a month now. And without my 2 Kims and the other staff, we couldn't keep open. We have just exploded in our office now. Tennessee has like 290 clerks' offices across the state. We were the 5th clerk's office in the state to go to E-file, so where people don't have to come in, and that has helped us tremendously, because if we hadn't done that, we didn't even know the person. Because the attorneys and the clerks would come and just kind of hang out and keep us tied up, and now with e-filing, they push a button, and we have the files right there, and it has been great progress. The legislature passed a bill with $75 million in it this year to standardize it all across the state, to where it'd be the same here as in Memphis or Nashville. We're the same as Williamson County, Montgomery County, and Rutherford County, and Sumner County. We're all the same, so anybody that is practicing in those areas, it's very easy to file stuff. So that's what's coming down the pipe, and we're well ahead of people that can do that. Now, as far as what else we're doing, we are going to have to make some adjustments when we get to the new building. Right now, we've got one side that does primarily probate. Our probate is exploded also. When I came on almost 8 years ago, we had invested $4 million from conservatorships and estates. Right now, we have $19 million that we have invested that Cam2 is sitting here with me, my chief deputy. Chancellor said, the only thing I'm worried about is don't have any money go out the door. Other than that, he's fine with just about everything we do. We're never a penny off of any of the audits. We've never had any findings. And they use us as an example of the right way to do things. And that's thanks to Ms. Cochran and also Ms. Davis, who does probate. The other area we've exploded in, and it really takes a lot of time, is conservatorships. As our society gets older, we're having, when I first started, we would have an item called an emergency conservatorship, maybe once a month, maybe twice a month. We're having emergency conservatorships that are coming in 3-4 times a week now, on some weeks, where we have to appoint an attorney, they have to get them served within 2 days, we have to have a hearing within 5 days, we have to have another hearing within 60 days, and we can't plan for that because we don't know when they're going to come. They're just emergencies, and as our society gets older, we're having more and more of those. Grandma has lost her mind and is out running around in the yard or in another state and doesn't know where she is. So we're having more of those, and the hospitals are having more of those because we're having people that have no family and they can't move them to a nursing home without a guardian or a conservator. And if they have no guardian, then we have to get a conservator who can authorize their move from the hospital to a nursing home. And that's taking up a lot of time. We have 5 people that primarily do that, and the other 3 we do civil side. So we call it someone has run off with someone else and they're getting a divorce and they're mad. So we can keep them busy there. So that's when the crime, the neighbors who were asked for a bump up, she's the one who basically supervises on the probate side. We don't have a supervisor other than our chief deputy. She's a little bit less than what the chief deputy was making for Ms. Strong, but we're trying to get all of our folks up. We've been very blessed. We've got 9 people, and amazingly, they all get along. That's probably because I stay in my little office and don't mess them up. They do an excellent job. The other part that's hard for us is the Supreme Court has come out with an access to justice. They're pushing that, and they're giving all kinds of forms on how to do divorces, how to do probate, but they tell us we can't provide legal assistance. They come in and bring it into us, and they need legal assistance, but they don't have the money to get an attorney. And we have to take sometimes up to an hour helping someone fill out a probate, small estate probate form, and get that done so that it can be done effectively. Otherwise, they're out in the cold. So the access to justice is putting a bigger burden on the clerk's office, which eventually may require us, in some areas, they have a clerk that just sits there, and when people come in, they provide them forms. We aren't doing that yet. I hope they don't require us to do that, because it's just a mess when you have someone going through a divorce, especially with children, and they aren't represented. And in our country, we have to allow that. It really makes it harder for the judge and for the clerk. But you see, we're trying to keep things as calm as possible. I think every year that I've been here, Mr. Lawrence, I turned in about $20,000, $30,000 a year, probably. So I'm not going to spend money just to spend it and have extra stuff that we don't need, because I'll turn it back and try to save money, because I'm a taxpayer too. Now, one of the things that we don't know what all we're going to run into in moving into this new building. They've been doing the fire suppression system testing today.
Is it today?
They're doing it today at noon. They said everything was going smoothly. They haven't gotten an update from that. That's been going smoothly. We will be moving our computers on the 28th of this month. We're going to stay on the state system. Ms. Strong is going to go and have the county do hers, but we're going to stay with the state. We do our filing just a little bit differently than she does hers. So we're not sure. We may need a couple of things, but the state is supplying our servers. We do what they call Census, and next gen, Ms. Strong just does Census. The next gen gives us an added layer of security, and that's why we chose to go that. It costs us $3,000 to $4,000 extra a year with a company called Local Government, which is set up by the Supreme Court. So they should give us a deal, but they have to pay their bills too. But
Is your server in the building, or is it?
Not yet. It's on the first floor of the old courthouse right now.
Okay.
We've got 2 guys from the state that are coming, going to physically take it over there.
Okay.
On the Tuesday the 28th. We set that up yesterday. The other server for our Census, which is another system where we can see what has been filed. We have that in our office, and we bought that 2-3 years ago for about $6,000 of money that we had saved up in order to buy that. And so that'll be moved also on the 28th. All of our computers are going to be moved on the 28th. So all of the courts will be closed from May the 28th till the end of that week. Now, under Tennessee Rules of Civil Procedure 6.01, we can do that, but we have to give notice. We're going to put it on our website, and you don't lose out anything. You don't miss a deadline. It's just like there was a snow event or a holiday. So we've all agreed to do that, and that's going to allow us to move. We're going to try to get as much done as we can before the big move, because we're kind of the little dog in all of this fight, and we're afraid we'll get left out. That's why we moved as much stuff as we already have. And thanks to the good folks here in out here, we have done in the hole. So we can't move anything right now until they get that done, but hopefully they'll have that done. They don't have that done by the end of the month. We're out of luck because we can't get in the garage to move all of our stuff.
Do you ever have to get, or can you ever get rid of the files, or do you keep those?
No, we're not trying to beat up here. We are getting into maybe some kind of operation.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
Page 50.
No, but I
You
do
got
want
one more.
what Mr. Plant saying. I've walked by the courthouse and I've looked down in the basement and it's full of boxes. Are those yours?
Not anymore.
They
So
gone?
we got most of ours gone.
Okay, I won't go any further. I just want to know
That's
about.
why we had bills back to, several hundred years ago. We had wills there that had not been moved to the archives. The problem we had there was the water came in all the time through the windows. But we moved all of those to the new courthouse. And there on the fourth floor, McCoy is gonna build up a cage. And one thing that I'm really pressing them to do is not allow the public elevators to stop on the fourth floor because there's nothing there. And if they get out, and we're gonna have to really staff the sheriff's department. What Rutherford County does, they close, don't let anyone in after 4:15, and they sweep the whole building. And that's what we're gonna have to do. This is a big building, and there's plenty of hiding places.
So we got.
And Matt, you have to, we're on the archive board together. We just have to see each other for a while.
Pick up the phone. Page 56. Go ahead. Page 56 is the parenting coordinator. They also work with Mark, but they haven't asked for anything additional. What's with the pink on this page 56? The pink is for, it's nothing to do with Mark. It's actually the, where we pay to house the juveniles that are housed down in Rutherford County when they're arrested. If you look, the history does not support the $350,000 appropriation. I would say it's nothing to do with you.
Is that on my budget?
Yeah. Well, no, they're on the parenting coordinator right now. But they were asking about something else.
Now, the parenting coordinator, she has to, we have 3 different courts that can handle divorces. If there are children involved with the divorce, the parenting coordinator sends them information on where they have to go to the parenting, program. How they can do it online, go to an 8-hour in person. And she has to do that to everybody that files a divorce in any of those 3 courts. Not quite sure how she got under us. We don't have anything to do with the budget. It comes out from us. So,
But not the 350.
and she works, part-time, I think, 12 hours a week.
When you get out, Mark, can I make another item on his page before we go to the next?
Yeah, is there any other questions for Mr. Smith? Go ahead, Dave.
And, all right, here, that $350,000 is for housing the juveniles, and the judge sends over, or they send us a cost after the judge incarcerates them. The only reason I bring it up, if you look at the history, we have not used $350,000 for several years, so you may want to consider that being decreased.
Okay,
And
got
then
it.
if it starts to go, we'll monitor and bring it back during the year, but there's no need to have all this excess budget in there year after year.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
If you make that right, red, that's what we do.
You'll have a good one.
How many, and maybe I missed it, how many juveniles do we typically house annually or on an average?
It varies, and it's a per night charge. It's a per night charge based on what the judge charges.
Well, not how much, I mean, how much volume do we have?
It varies, but that 350, we haven't used it for years.
We haven't used that much for that.
So it needs to be brought down. And I believe we have a library. Which one's general session 3?
You know what, no, they came in late, there's more. No, it's not all, it's your.
She's not so smart.
It's not your law, it's not your law.
I have to explain more.
That's my fault.
Where's she at? Oh, she's on the other line.
Yeah.
I think the Gallatin Library is here.
We can do Gallatin Library?
Yes.
All right, come on over.
Come on, look at my schedule, right? They're not here yet.
Yeah, you're ahead of schedule, so we should get
I mean, am I on?
they're on page number 71. And then their salaries are on the board.
I appreciate all you guys put together these,
I mean,
charts.
there's really nice that they all have names on them too.
Yeah.
All righty.
Which page are you on?
Page 71?
Yeah, that's
71.
What a concept.
Good, all righty.
Got three of them.
What, actually, let me think about this. Do we want to do, before we do Gallatin, do we want to do just libraries, like, in general?
I think they each have a spot on it. Hendersonville's tomorrow, so I would just do this.
Yeah.
No, we can do it this way, that's fine.
I tried to get them all together.
They each have a director.
They all came, except for Denise, she wanted to come tomorrow.
All right, okay.
Oh, it's all of them right here?
Yeah.
We may just want to go ahead and do all of them, so Gallatin moves down to, other than Hendersonville.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, we can do it.
There's one not here, one not here yet. Lauren, hers is not for another hour and 20-something. Yeah.
You want to do these three and then do the
Well, let's just, yeah, we'll march through with, Gallatin, Portland and Milledgeville. Yeah. All right, go ahead. Thank you, ma'am.
We're not asking for any more this year. We've made some adjustments based on the fact that we already know electricity went up. We know some of our, cost of, like, our subscriptions, and really that's about it. And we just moved money out of, office supplies, because we know we can be more conservative with those. And we based it on where we had to move money this year to cover stuff and increase prices, and that's really it.
How many days are y'all open? You're open 5 days? Okay.
We're open for 24 hours a week, which is a little bit more than the rest of the library.
So, when you say, so are you open like a half day on a Saturday, or so you're open?
We have 9 to 6 on Wednesdays and Thursdays. No, Tuesdays and Fridays. Oh, gosh.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't put you on your.
Wednesdays and Fridays is 9 to 6, Tuesdays and Thursdays is 9 to 7, and then Saturdays we are open from 9 to 3.
And you're taking, nothing on Monday?
No.
So it's, is it 44 hours, so 5 full days and 1 half day?
Yes,
Okay, got it. That's,
they're long full days.
no, I understand.
There's a particular issue I didn't make the committee aware of.
Go ahead.
I received an email a few days ago that the Department of Labor has made their new ruling, and they're saying as of July 1, 2024, any exempt employee, that means if you're not subject to overtime, has to make a minimum of $43,888, which won't affect us on this one. But on January 1, 2025, that limit goes to $58,656, which means right now this librarian is considered not exempt, in other words, not subject to overtime. And we haven't treated that way in Cronos or everywhere else, but that means
So we either have to treat them as
hourly, or we're gonna have to move it to 58. We're gonna have to be 58,655, 58,656 by January 1, 2025.
So,
It's the first incremental deadline, and I received this the other day, May 1st. Yep. The rule focuses on DOA's authority to enforce compliance and conduct audits.
that's a pretty, so we need to make folks hourly.
But we can go to Cronos and make them hourly, or we can.
Hourly. Our schedules are insane. I have to work on Mondays and open up at 7 o'clock. We have all kinds of events going on outside of the building being open.
Oh, you should.
And having to have that many exceptions was real difficult.
If we pay her hourly, we may end up paying her more than $58,000.
It means you clock her in and out.
Yeah.
You track her time.
And then when people call her at home,
It's just gonna.
it is what,
We're gonna have to bump.
You need to bump or tell them that they're hourly, and you tell them they clock in and out. Because right now, the way we treat exempt employees
All right.
is you do payroll by exceptions. You use leave, when you use vacation
I mean,
leave.
at the end of the day, it'll probably something we're gonna need to discuss tomorrow, but, well, we plan to do this, but I mean, ultimately, I think it's probably good news.
Well, I've been here almost 10 years, and I have a degree and lots of experience, and I make less money than some of the people.
That one's already meeting the limit, so that one's fine.
Yeah.
That one's a little under still. That one's a little under. That one's a little under.
This is a lot higher.
Henderson was already meeting the limit, so they're not subject.
and the whole purpose of this bill is so so you don't work people,
No,
like
I
at
understand.
McDonald's,
No,
yeah.
I totally get it. I mean, I get it. I'm just like.
I know, I heard about it like 6 months ago, and I was like,
And it came up after everybody's March 1 deadline, so.
What bill is this?
It's the Department of Labor, they determine what the minimum hours, the minimum you have to make it a year before you can be an exempt employee. In other words, there's two types of employees, there's hourly, where I pay you by the hour, everything over 40 hours worked, I have to pay you time and a half. Those employees, when they can track each hour in Kronos, they log in, they log out, they use vacation time or comp time to make their 40 hours or don't get paid. The exempt employees are assigned 40 hours. If they work less than 40 hours, they should be taking sick or vacation. If they work 50 hours, it just gets wrote off or lost, okay? They do by exception. Right now, they came in with the new rule. As of July 1, 2024, you have to make 43,888. Not an issue for us, they're all above that. By January 1, 2025, which is in the middle of your year, they have to be making 58,658.6 annually, or they have to be hourly.
That's a huge jump.
That would be any employee that we're treating, but we're only treating directors as salary, the rest of them are hourly anyway, so it's not.
Is this the same thing that works why the teachers are? That's a different,
That's
different.
different, that's a state level thing.
that's a state, yeah.
That is a state level requirement.
What is this?
This is Federal Department of Labor, Fair Labor, FSLA, Fair Labor Standards Act, and Department of Labor is responsible for determining.
Department of Labor just made it.
And it says on April 23rd, 2024, the U.S. Department of Labor published its final rule, which is right after our budget plan, what I'm bringing to you now, amending the federal wage and hour law. This rule focuses on increasing the salary threshold for executive, administrative, and professional workers, as well as highly compensated to qualify for overtime. They also increased your highly compensated. In other words, if you have ones that don't meet one of those other requirements, but you made over so many dollars a year, then you were still exempt. They've increased those to July 1, 2024, 132,000, and they've increased January 1, 151,000. These folks fall under the administrative, so they're clear administrative, but they still have to pass the salary test. The salary test, which is 58,656 a year. So that means on January 1, they need to be making an annual salary of 58,656 a year, or they need to be treated as hourly employees. Those are two choices.
Is this for just government employees?
That's all.
That's
your fire rate. You better treat them as hourly, or you better treat them exempt.
What kind of level of crap is that?
It's
That's why you got such inflation right now.
manager at McDonald's, so they're working to death. It's a huge, and the numbers went up even before that.
This has always been a rule, so the amounts have changed enough to make
So,
it
look, at the end of the day, we're gonna have to deal with this one way or the other. Are there any questions?
Well, if we could just because we're gonna have to deal with this, can I just ask, how many hours of overtime do you think you put in, and how much does she make per hour on average right now? So that, this will be our answer.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
I have about 7 days a week. Usually on Sundays, I don't do as much, and I do it at night. Mondays, I put in full days.
How many hours a week do you
I
put
would
in?
say 70. I am on full time, and we have emergencies 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
How many hours of overtime would she need to make to get over 58,000 and change?
Based on your discussion now, the PTH, there's no need to even.
Yeah, what she just said is.
So our regular suffers only gets to work 40 hours.
No, we still want you to work. We're just trying to figure out how to pay you.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you, ma'am. Okay, let's go ahead and do, Millersville. We just wanted to from the
I saw that, we went to the HR class, was you looking at that one, Bob? Yeah, Bob was with me at HR, about a year ago, they told us it was coming.
So you can't trust what the
Can't trust
kids are saying.
them.
I'm sorry, which library? Well, they're not the 45.
We're gonna go ahead and do, we can do
Oh, I'm sorry.
Portland's page 74.
we can do, my bad.
It's okay.
We're,
45 after, so.
We also are not asking for anything in additional other than they just told us that we, and we're told to add to it and everything. Actually, I, like Gabby, obviously, would redo some of my stuff, and so the 5% increase that we normally would be, if it's just a salary increase, it's actually only 1.7%, I think.
Yeah.
Of an increase, yeah.
Awesome. Any questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was looking through all this, and I noticed all I've done away with the janitorial services, except for building. Well, it's not, it still has it on here, about $8,000 something for janitorial services. I was just wondering, so all the employees gonna do cleaning?
No, sir, we actually, I do have an employee that specifically is a custodian. She comes in after hours and everything, but that was added to our payroll years ago and everything.
They do it in-house.
Yeah, it's in-house, yeah, exactly.
They did that
All
several
the
times.
well, Hendersonville had it, and they did away with it, and,
West
did away
Warren,
with it.
yeah, sir.
Others didn't have it, and Millersville was the only one that still had it.
Now, Galveston has it, I
Yeah.
think.
So we're right on the
Yeah,
square.
they have an app.
We pay hourly because of the population we serve.
Okay. Okay, so Galveston.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Mr. Long.
Westmoreland's on page 75, and
Thank you.
they have
It's
a,
not here.
Yeah, here.
I'm sorry,
Let's do, we got
is it Millersville?
Yeah.
Millersville is on page 76, and they have a capital request on page 99.
all right. Go ahead, ma'am.
Hello, for the staff budget, I'm asking for the 5% COLA increase, that I feel is what other departments are asking for. I'm not asking for an increase in any of the other budgetary lines, like Allison and Portland. I was able to see where we could maybe cut down on maybe some office supplies, maybe some extra activities that come out of our other lines to make up for the difference in the increase in water and electricity and gas. So I'm not asking for any increases. I am asking for a $10,000 capital project fund. So we're still, this has been so good, it's fantastic. We, from this day, compared to last fiscal year to this fiscal year, our program attendance has doubled.
That's great.
So we went from 1,444 program attendance to 2,744.
Wow, that's great.
And so I'm really excited, and so I'm asking for this capital project to allow us to do some minor renovations in the library, that will help us more align with the state standards for libraries of our size. Right now, we don't have a designated study space, which is a need our community has been saying they need. Right now, we've been putting them in our multi-purpose room, which is also our adult programming room, our young adult programming room, our break room. And so with this, I have a blueprint of the changes that I would like to do. I would like to build a wall with a window and a door to have that be a designated office space. And then that would open up a study space. And then move a wall to allow.
With this group, should have said you need to build a wall.
I'm just moving the wall so that we can also have the dedicated break room for staff, because we don't have one. So we sit in our cars if people don't use the room. I talked with Matrons, and they're okay to do the labor for this, so this is just the cost of materials.
Let's get any questions for her, and then I'll get your note there. Go ahead, Mr. Clark.
Why has your, insurance rate dropped by 2/3?
I do not know, that goes through the county mayor's office, I don't handle
It
it.
goes through finance.
That's right.
But what happens with insurance is it's based on your type of coverage or if you take it. So employees, the cheapest, always to families, the most expensive, and also some people don't take their insurance. So your insurance cost is based on people's elections as far as your employees.
So I don't take the insurance, I'm on my husband's, because I don't have to switch doctors.
She's probably one of them right there.
Okay, reconfiguring insurance base.
Galveston's open 44 hours a week.
How much open 40 hours a week?
You're open 40.
Monday, Tuesday, no, yeah, Monday.
It's okay, you don't have to go.
No, I know,
That's okay. I would like to know actually.
Hey, we're open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 10 to 7. We're closed Thursday, Friday, 10 to 5, and Saturday, 10 to 1.
And we didn't get the hours. How many hours a week is Portland open?
40.
40.
Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturday, 9 to 1.
David, where is her capital?
It was on page 99, it was for $10,000 a day. So I think it was 99 at the very top.
So it's just reconfiguring these two walls.
Hey, for they requested $10,000.
I've got another copy of the blueprint if you're interested.
Yeah, blueprint. Can you get, yeah, we need them for the minutes, anything you pass out.
Thank you for bringing that.
Sorry, the copies are wonky, but they were all rolled up, and so I did my best to try to get it flat.
I don't know anything about libraries, and maybe this goes back to you guys also. Over the years, have you maintained the same staff level, or, and I haven't went back and looked at last year, but we increased staffing at libraries, we decreased it, or, and I should have asked y'all, I just didn't think of that time.
How often employee will we put in additional?
So.
They transferred between. It was Gil and Hendersonville.
So when we built, let's say when we built your library, almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years ago, this is how the staff you have then?
I don't believe so. I think we have a few more part-time staff now, but I have only been in this position about a year and a half.
I'm just wondering, like, how,
We've always had the 3 full-time employees and then the number of part-time employees.
and I'm not taking
Well,
anything
no,
wrong,
I
I'm
was
just
just
trying to
trying
understand.
to, we've had the 3 full-time employees since the library opened, and then the number of part-time employees depends on the need.
Yes, I mean.
So there are 5 part-time and 3 full-time employees.
So how'd you get this done?
But I took it, I pulled out the blueprint that we had in the library and I scanned it. Yeah, I just stood up on a chair and I scanned it and then I just uploaded
This
it.
would have cost like $50,000.
Oh, architect.
Anything.
I know how to do lots of things for cheap.
And we can't get copies of some of the building plans, because I've been,
And they're
so
just,
there's security
we were cleaning out a closet and I found them, so.
issues. Pull it out.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic.
What I had that argument the other day,
Good library.
so I
They
could.
did it in pink, so it stood out better, that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? Mr. Long, thank you, ma'am. And Mr. Long, you have a note.
Can we go over to the revenues, Beth, and go to the library fees and unopen the history of that? This is something that was, I think I sent Ms. Browning to the library board discussion, and they're doing food drives. When they're doing food drives, they're forgiving fees for written off books, and I think the discussion,
They still have to pay for those, only time they ever waive fees.
late fees. So they're my point being, they're waiving fees for late fines, and the discussion was because it doesn't directly impact their budget, it's okay, but it does directly impact the general fund, and there was a discussion, and it was before your time, where the county sent me and the former, budget director, budget chair over there to discuss with the libraries, because it is taking money out of the county coffers, that is funding the libraries, we'll go show you their history. It's not large numbers, but over time, their fees have, it went, if you untitled for several years back through there, Bethany. And that's kind of just giving them an idea that there is, they went from 21 that one down to, get one through there. And then we're talking over since 2009. Well, they went, there's not a lot of them, but they are going down because of the,
Automated renewals, so people don't get charged as often.
so you guys aren't
They
doing,
can renew online, where they used to have to bring it in the building.
so you,
We haven't always been
right.
food for fines, we haven't done that.
So that was the discussion at the meeting to do.
3 or 4 years since we've done it, any kind of.
Okay. Because that was our saying, it was a discussion several years back because the fees have been, if you look where they're at now compared to 2019.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm generally all about trying to find ways to get money.
But my point is that there's a discussion that does not have an impact, but it does destroy revenues that are recovering of our budget.
You know, if we need, and maybe we do or don't now, I appreciate you bringing it up, and I appreciate you doing your duty, but, I mean, I'd probably generate a vote to give the libraries the authority to waive it, but.
It would pay for our janitorial fees, though. I mean, this is people,
I mean,
I'm saying.
but I'm also.
But I mean, that was and I mean, think it was before some of these ladies' times with the cut boards, but the same practice was happening, and it's went from, the last, 20 years, actually went down there, so,
Any other notes on that one?
that was it, and I think,
Millicent, we didn't Westmoreland.
and Westmoreland is on page 75, and they have a capital request on 99.
Okay.
Come on, that's information. Here's the bill.
We have a Westmoreland old church. Do you have?
What page is Westmoreland?
It's okay if you don't.
I should say, I don't have one with me, I sent one in, I created one before, but I don't know about this one.
Oh, I don't know.
Anything I can show them.
I think Steve was bringing them down, I don't know which email.
Yeah, but you guys can run in with your rest of the plan. I was in the.
I know I made it, because I remember that she likes to be made. That's Westminster, and I have a one-year-old.
Go ahead.
What, I don't even know who I'm doing. So, so I didn't get to see what we're doing.
We just kind of give us a roll-up of what your, I mean, most of the time it breaks down to two things, what salary change that you're gonna ask, and then if there are any other change you have a capital project, that you're gonna ask. Most of the time what people do is say, hey, here's the total amount that we're asking for different, here's how it breaks down in salary, and then here's what we're asking for, just like, we just asked for the, change for the library layout.
Perfect, okay. So, as far as the grant, like the total budget for our library, I'm not asking for anything extra this year. But not to be on that, yeah.
Okay.
So nothing like operationally wise, nothing extra except for the capital, layout. For the capital layout, I am requesting for carpet and paint. This year, this fall, and probably is our target date, we're planning to swap our library around. If you haven't been to Westmoreland Library, for 3, like, Frankenstein rooms, that's how I like to say, there's 3 different buildings that we've, like, added on. When you walk into the front door, it is a children's library. You walk into the circulation desk and story time, all the kids stuff happens right there at the front door. For patron safety, for the noise level, for the kids, we're planning to swap, and where the adult sections in the back, we're moving all the adults to the front, with the circulation area and kids to the back. So if they're programs that can be a little noisy like kids do, we can better monitor who's in the room with them. Especially during program time, making sure nobody's lingering around the kids, that doesn't need to be. We've not had those issues, but we're just trying to prevent it for the future. So for carpeting, when we moved the shelves and when we redid our circulation desk 2 years ago, we have a lot of faded spots, a lot of tears. Nothing that's a health hazard necessarily. We have some places that they had to cover with old metal plates that we have holes in the floor. And I've got pictures of those if y'all like to see them on our phone. And when the shelves come down and moved around, there's going to be a lot of stuff. We have a lot of wear and tear on the walls from the original paint that was put in there. The last time it was painted, I think, was 10 years ago. So just a few things like that we're trying to get, just upkeep, general maintenance.
So, Mr. Long, I have a question for you. So none of these ladies in the past, I don't think, for any additional market. What does the market look like for librarians? Do we have anything?
We don't have anything for the directors because most of the large ones, or a lot of them are systems, so they would have a system director.
Yeah, so it'd be a little.
But we do have, I think it may have somebody from the library. And our library is historically not been one that's been overpaid, so.
Yeah, but I mean, are we under? I mean.
That's what I was gonna try to see if they was satisfied.
So you have a custodian, that was one of the things that, Mr. Brown was saying, that you didn't put in a number for custodian.
Yes.
Oh, I see, it's 58. It's just not.
Close.
Got it.
For janitorial services, it's nothing in there because I have a hired part-time,
Oh, it's a salary position now.
It's a salary position. We had somebody that came in once a week, we were paying them Let me see, it was just under $100 a week. They come in and they were there for about an hour to track on the alarm system, and they audited this on, make sure everything was secure. And they would be there for about an hour a week. Hopefully we're not being clean, like maintaining how seems to be. And so right now I had 5 hours a week in my part-time line that I could use, about 12 hours, or $12 an hour. I have a high school student comes in twice a week in the afternoon, and she does all the work that I need, and it's for about 2/3 of the cost of what it was before. She did the job. Yes. And I knew her father worked at Howard Elementary, so she's a great kid, and it's a flexible position, but she kind of is able to come in 2 days a week when her schedule works. She's a cheerleader, does softball, so she's a little extra money for something.
How many hours a week are you open?
We're open 40, something that we've been toying with our current staff level. I have one employee that is about to come back from maternity leave. I was on maternity leave last year, but, we would love to be open to stay a week at some point. And I've been monitoring our electricity and water to see if that's eventually possible. But we're open 40 hours a week. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 to, well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 to 6. Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 3. My goal is to eventually have that Thursday.
David, what's that number that you come up with?
Here's what you've got. You've got library clerk, library technician, librarian 1, librarian 2. A library clerk processes circulation transactions, including check-in, out, etc. The technician is responsible for cataloging and interlines, etc. And then there's ones like a librarian 1 and 2 oversee large areas of basically a large library. So you're probably looking more library technicians and library clerks.
And then our directors would probably be like library too.
Well, that would probably actually be by this description fall somewhere around the librarian 1 or 2. A librarian 1 was back in 2003, 52, 856.
And where are we at?
Well, right now, I'll go on that, Bethany. She's 53,311.
So close on that one. What about that?
The other one for a library clerk is about 34,299, and for a library technician, 43,493 is the average for all those. So they're one of the lower, and they didn't ask for any additionals neither.
We're on the lower end of it, but you're
a little bit below the median.
We're a little below. Okay. I mean, given that.
These are above, though. There's some of the others, like Portland, if you look. Which one did you just click on? If you look, that one's 48, so it's above.
I will say their children's services librarian is in David. So
Yes.
these
are medium. Well, I thought these are medium, so it would be.
Oh, okay.
She should fall above and below, but somewhere around. This one's.
Just so you guys know, given that, different organizations, I appreciate the librarians here, they're being very conservative, but I also, want to keep things.
They appear a little on the low.
They're a little below. I will do this tomorrow. I'm just letting everybody know. I will probably move to make slight market adjustments in addition to the COLA.
They haven't offered anyone any more money than they asked for yet. So this is like a really good thing. I know you're new and you don't know what's going on here, but this is the first time you've offered money.
This is my third budget cycle. The first year it was handled as a cheat zone, and last year I was.
Yeah. So this is a good thing.
I mean, I'm not saying exactly, you gotta figure out what the numbers look like, but you guys, we're just trying to get people in.
Let me talk to something that's kind of a bit of history that you guys don't know, and probably none of these. They went back and did the salary survey where everybody's salaries was adjusted up to 10,000. The librarians were off. Theirs was adjusted like everybody else. At the time, we formed a system.
Yeah.
The one that was in charge of the system library requested to take the total cash and redistribute it as her and the library board thought was the most appropriate. So these necessary market adjustments didn't happen the same as some other departments. So that's one reason you're seeing some of this. It's created some issues.
I don't think, you look at it a little bit, and I've looked at it later this evening. I think we're not going to, I think we'll be able to do something small that will, that's not going to break the bank, but kind of, these aren't huge adjustments we need to make. But anyway, I appreciate you guys.
That's why I think some of the board market were around.
We all in here, one of the things we wanted to do was break down that system in order to return the power down to the individual libraries, and so this is one more step in that direction. Any other questions?
No, pretty much, yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Agnes is page 77. He's on page 77.
All right.
Good afternoon, my name's Clint Parker, I'm the county director, I'm the third county, there has been 6 county directors in 3 years, so, the whole budget cycle, everything has been kind of a mess over the last little bit, but, kind of dove in, dissected everything out, of course, we've hired some new folks, made some adjustments, I think we were able to stay within salaries outside of the old request, within, the $2,000, and then when you look on the other side, looking down through there, as you know, the county grows, the number of schools, the 4-H programs, the home visits, the farm visits, those types of things have increased. So we asked for a few dollars more in travel expenses to kind of help serve the county. We asked for a couple $1,000s for some computers to be able to update our computers. We haven't had any updates on the county side in quite a while. And then we asked for our secretaries, if they were to pass the CAP certification, the Certified Assistant Program. Of course, that's not a guarantee, but if they pass that, we would like that to be in the budget cycle there. So I think when you look all the way across the board, very minor adjustments in our budget from last year to this year outside of the COLA.
Hey, Matt, one thing, can you go back to the salary, Beth, where I can go, this big top first line is actually invoiced, we calculate like salaries, but it's actually invoiced from UT based on what UT's paying the employees and stuff based on.
I remember we went through this. This took us so much time last year.
And then the one below going down, the one down here is the ones we pay. And then the ones down here is the one we paid right here. So this, from this line up, is actually ones that are paid through UT.
So,
if that helps.
yeah. And I mean,
a lot of confusing.
It's giving me PTSD.
That might be why they were 6 directors in 3 years.
So bottom line, you guys are asking for $12,035 more from the county than you were asking for last year. Okay, $12,035. Okay, any questions? All right, thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Quick. Okay, we've done Gallatin, we've done Fort.
We have the department, highway, law director's done.
We need highway and health department.
You wanna go to finance since we're waiting?
Yeah, let's do finance.
Health, let's see here. Where's the mayor at that?
Well, are we starting here?
Let's just go ahead, hey Beth, finance, what page is finance on, Beth, because I didn't write the line page number. Finance is on page, of course not.
42.
And A11. Finance is on page 44. Let's start with the non-salary, and I'll point out a couple of things. What are we doing? Based on